Hello everyone, Michael here. In this video, I will show you how I use Opus to prepare for my games. I assume you checked the other tutorials first, so you know the different elements in detail. This is not for a specific campaign or adventure. I made a rough idea in my mind of what I plan to do. This will not be published. This is not a good adventure. It's just an example. There won't be any text or nothing actually usable in the game, but you will see it will be useful to give you a better idea of what it looks like at the end. So I opened a collection. You know what the collection is. There's a tutorial about it. And it's time to create the first block. So you're gonna either go there or at the bottom. I will go there, and the players will simply start in a village or a city. We'll go with the city, okay? Medieval city. There, I can I can write something here. Usually, I do when I actually prepare. I write different things such as don't forget to play the music or the whole adventure as well, all the details, the descriptions, and so on, because that's how you can use it. I usually do that. I have a few of my own adventures published publicly on Opus. It's in French, but still. So blah blah blah. You write whatever you want. Okay, we're here. They start in a medieval city, so we will look for different ambiences that fit. So let's see. I will just write city here, and there I can go there and write fantasy. I don't have to, but it just helps. It's a very generic city. I want, what do I want? I can use that to create some ideas. I want a tavern. I want the city keep, and I want the medieval city itself, fantasy medieval city. Okay, I can click to listen to it. There, and I want the fighters guild as well. Okay. Oh, and there's one thing I want to do. It's indoor, medieval city indoor. So the indoor versions are ambiences that I'm gonna show you how it works. There, I'll just close the tags. Medieval city indoor versions are what's the word? You hear the city from the inside of a place, of a room, and that's very interesting to give some a more detailed impression of the place. I love to use that. I may add a few sound effects. Let's see, maybe a merchant, dark, enigmatic merchant card. Let's see. Okay, this guy comes and gives a quest to the players. Would be interesting. So they're a tavern. Some guy comes, gives them a quest. Very simple. As I said, it's not a real adventure. It's very basic. It's not original, but just to show you how it works. And now I clicked on playlist here, and I want music for that. So I will just write medieval streets. Perfect. So this music here is what I will be playing for when they're in the city. Okay. And Treasure Hunt by Travis Savoy is playing. Good. I want that. I want something for the tavern as well. Can tavern tunes. Sounds good. What I usually do as well is I click here on music on the very first block, and I select a song for the start of the campaign or the adventure, and I just let it play and I don't say anything just to set the tone. So let's say I spend some time looking for a specific song using the different tags and so on. You know how to do it. You checked the tutorials. Let's say A Heart Full of Thorns works. Good. I will just stop that, and I can just click here whenever I want to have that track starting when it's time to. I will just let it run in the background because I love it. Okay, so the medieval city is here. I have my different ambiences. I have my texts. It's time to leave the city. What I could do is create another block, by example, the tavern. and I could have cut the ambiences in the tavern. By example, if the tavern is very important in your adventure, you create, you put all the different tavern ambiences and sounds in it. Like Cannes Tavern, maybe it's crowded, maybe maybe it's quiet sometimes. And there's a tavern brawl. Yes, that's good. Let's see. I also have inn, and inn at night, upper floor with music downstairs and open window. That's really cool. Or upper floor with open window, and this is interesting because if you play it, it's one of these indoor ambiences. You hear the tavern at the bottom, at the lower, downstairs, but you are from the perspective of the room upstairs, and you can, by example, add some sound effect of people walking. Walking. Alright, and you certainly have something like that. Walking on wood stairs. That's interesting. You can play that to signify to the players that, by example, if they're in the inn looking for something specific, maybe sneaking around, you play that and say, "Oh, look, someone is coming. Do something." That's I'm not sure it's an English word. Diegetic, diegetic sounds. So sounds that happen in the story. Anyway, let's go back to our blocks. We have two different blocks. We can have a third and just call that medieval city. Oh, medieval city there. This one I can rename, edit, and just call that streets, by example, and have my tavern and the streets in the medieval city, and that's good. We can keep this ambience playing. Okay, I will add a new block, and now they're on the road. So, you know what? Just on the road is fine. That's what I usually do. When my players travel, I love to prepare specific weathers. I think it's very interesting to play with weathers. So you can also have some mechanical effect when there's for example, a storm they don't see so well, or they have to, if there's a blizzard, they have to do some endurance or constitution checks, test. That's interesting, I think. So we're not being super original here. They're in the grasslands, okay? Do you have some grassland? I do have some grassland ambiences. So grasslands here, grasslands encampments. They can maybe see a village. I usually also listen to the ambiences. You will, because you don't know them as well as I do, obviously. But you can just listen to them here. Grasslands shrine. Oh, maybe the guy in the tavern told them, go to this shrine, pray, and you will receive a message from the gods. They will tell you where you have to find a special item. Okay, very basic, but I, I I like this one. You can also do some meditation to it if you want. Horses in grasslands. You know what? I also like to add some travel sounds. I think it's cool. Let's see, horse and cart, or pack of galloping horses. How does it sound? Ah, yes. And horse and cart. Maybe they chose different ways. They had different options on how to travel, and they had these two. Okay, that's good. So I can write my text, blah blah blah. You write the test and all the stuff here. Oh yes, weather. And yes, very important, weather. I can go there, get rid of the horses. Do I have weather? I do have weather. That's quite a lot. Blizzard of Fate. That's some kind of mystical blizzard, I think. Oh. I have no idea how it will sound in the video, but that's quite cool on my side. Maybe they have a campfire and the blizzard comes up during the night here as well. But we'll go for very simple things at first. We don't have to be too original. Um, Rain and thunder, that's good. Realistic rain. This can be really useful. Tents during rain. That's the kind of things I usually do. I highly recommend that. You have a very powerful tool in your hands, so use it. um, okay, I will stop these two. We'll go back to normal. So there on the road, you can usually what I do as well is just to have it a bit more organized until we change the UI a bit. We have a few ideas regarding that, but what I do is I create several blocks, and I have my master block, which is on the road, and the children are weather, encampment, and that's all. That's usually enough. Maybe you can add some encounter sound effects or ambience. I do have some melee stuff, melee group fight. Let's listen to this one. That's quite a fight. I'm gonna create a few new ambiences like that. Would be interesting to have sounds of spells, uh, animals fighting monsters, and so on. But that's and combat ambiences are the absolute worst to create. This it's so demanding, like 1 week per ambience. But eventually it will be done. I mean, uh, I want to cover every need, so it has to be done. Next one. Okay, so they're on the road. They move to the place, to the they found the answer. The god answered. You can add a few additional ambiences, like them from the village for the encampments. Maybe it's important. You have the sounds of few tents, and inside you can add the sound of some craftsmen. I made many ambiences of craftsmen, and that's I think it's interesting to have the sounds of people doing some woodwork, leather working, that kind of stuff. It adds a lot to the story, and it helps make the NPC being more original, more easy to remember because you have their whole universe with them. Okay, so the dungeon. As you can see, I'm skipping a few steps. By the way, playlists. So we added taverns, we added the city, and now we can add a combat ambience. No, combat playlist. Sorry. What do I have? Combat. This one. Okay. As per usual, these ones are the featured ones, as you know, because you've checked the videos, obviously. And that means they're prepared by me, so it's updated with everything we have. And normally it's a good choice of sounds that is predictable, I would say. So you don't have a sci-fi song in the middle of a medieval combat playlist. But you can make your own, and I fully support you in doing so because that's what our library is made for. Okay, so the dungeon. The dungeon, I'm gonna add a few ambiences to it. You have like 300 ambiences that would fit dungeons. What do we want? Let's look through here. Do we want something around? So what just do we have dungeon here? Oh yeah, it too. I could have wrote that. um, we can have a crystal dungeon. I love everything that is related to crystal in general, since I collect minerals. My players have they're crystal every time in my adventures. They must be sick of them. I don't care. So crystal dungeon, yes, of course, yes. Maybe with wind. You can have two playing together. It's not a problem. It's even more crystal, so it's 2 times better. But I just stick to single one. Okay, I can just change the one I want. Okay. Let's see. I want this one. Let's see. Let's test this one because if you click on the left and you don't have them, you can just test them. No, this one is too supple. Supple. Do we want a creepy dungeon? Oh, wait. Enchanted Crystal Dungeon. I suppose there are more different droids in the background. Yes. And more bells. Anyway, I will stick to this one just because the objective is not to make an actual adventure, even though now I'm kind of hyped and I want to finish this one. Uh, so I have my dungeon here. We have a combat playlist. Maybe we want another one. Something dramatic, epic. That's good. Yes. Do we have something emotional maybe for the end? Yes. What I like to do as well, you can have some sound effects playlist. I recommend doing that all the time. The Campfire Essentials is really good. Whenever your players travel, it does work well. Dungeon Essentials, very important as well. They are they are in a crystal dungeon, so Cavern Essentials as well. Okay, forest, dragon, do I want that? Not so much. Medieval city is very interesting. Let's look at it. Look, you can add a fountain, dogs, thief passing by would be interesting to have that play when, by example, a group of kids lurking around the players, and one of them just passes by and, you know, takes their hard-earned money. uh, Prison essentials could be interesting. And treasures essential very interesting for after the main fight when they find everything. Anyway, that's just a selection. Tavern essentials, obviously, because there's a tavern, so they will certainly spend an hour and a half here, if not more, even though it's not needed because they can drink. That's what players do. So a few sound effects. I love in dungeon to add traps. It's so necessary. And I mean, it's not necessary for every dungeon, but when you have sound effects of traps, it works so well to use the sound effects for that. So instead of just telling to your players, please make a dexterity check or whatever, because you hear an arrow going your way, you can just let's see, arrows trap single. You just play that or this one or multiple. And you tell them to run, and that's I think it works better because they understand exactly what happens. You don't have to describe it. Or if you want to describe it, you can also use the describes descriptions, which are available, by the way. I did not show them in this video, but you can use them. I recommend that if you play in English, especially. Okay, so wait, I forgot to add some traps. I'm speaking way too much. So I'm gonna add this one and pile of trash falling, interesting. Pit trap, interesting. Oh, I also love to use these two. If we move stone roof, that's very interesting. If they start, by example, working on a puzzle, you play these sounds. Makes me feel like I'm in a movie, personally. And I'll also love to add a few magical sound effects whenever they interact with a statue and any items. Very interesting. Or when, do I have that? Medium steps. I need to do more of them, but look, this one's by example. That's interesting. Zombie patrolling, skeletal patrolling. That's very good. Okay, so I have that maybe, and then I can add a song for the end of the adventure when you do the feedback on everything, when you do like I don't know the word conclusion. The storm is coming. Maybe they just uncovered something that is bigger, and the storm is coming. It was just the introduction. Okay, Good. We have music, we have sound effects, we have the dungeon. What I usually do, as you can see, it's very simple. I spent a lot of time speaking, but if it was just for me, it would have taken a lot less time, obviously. But if it was for a real adventure, maybe it would take a bit more time since this is for one shot. What I would have done is the dungeon. I would say uh, room room 1 to 5, by example, and boss room if I want several traps, a sound effect just for the boss, and maybe the the what the the stables. Maybe there are some stables with specific monsters in it in them, and I would just do like this. So boss room stable. Oopsies. Okay, and there you go. Okay, and you have your dungeon. Okay, and you can reorganize the way you want and just have the specific music and so on to each other to each one. Maybe and it also has a good effect of if you have just a few ambience. For example, if I just have medieval city here, there, and yeah, that's all. You can just click there, and it will simply play everything you have prepared in it. I actually recommend it because it makes playing much easier for you as a DM. You don't have to specifically click on them. That's what I do because I'm just used to it. I love to do that. Honestly, I love to play with different sounds, and it does not require me any kind of additional effort. I just love doing that, and the players love it, of course. But if you struggle to do many things at the same time, or if you want to have that can be also interesting to just be very sequential in how you work. You can do small blocks and just play the blocks at the top and stop them there as well and skip from one to the other like that, so you don't have to try to understand how you rework prepare your adventure. Anyway, what I also do is I usually rename it my super adventure. This is really good. Yeah. And I usually select a thumbnail because it's fun. And I love airships, so that's an airship now. There is no airship in the story. Maybe there will someday. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, just post the comments, or ideally you come on the Discord, describes Discord. It will be in the description. Thanks so much for your attention. Please share the word about Opus and have fun. Bye.